One of the confusion things that is happening today in churches, because of many different doctrines that we are taught by many different preachers, often a Bible student is made to question what is right and what is wrong. And when you mix certain things, like for example, you take a chicken, you make chicken curry. If you slaughter the chicken into small pieces, then when you put that in the masala and start cooking, what you will get at the end of the cooking? Will you get chicken pieces? No. You get nothing, right? So if you slaughter the chicken, you will get nothing. So the most important thing today, if you and I want to study the Bible well, then we have to obey what God's word says, how to study the Bible. Can somebody read 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse number 15? 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse number 15.
2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 15, it says, "Study to shew thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth."
Okay, so the key word here is rightly dividing. Dividing what? The word of truth. Truth ought to be divided rightly. Understand? So it's like Amos what? What is your surname? Amos Reito. Now, if I take Amos Reito and take his father and his brother and say, no man, they are all one only. Whether it's Amos or... No. If you want to call Amos, can you call Amos' brother Samson? No. Can you call Samson as Amos' father? No, you have to rightly divide. Oh, this is Amos' brother, and this is Amos' father. If you slaughter the truth, you get no truth. You understand?
Yes.
But if you mix the truth completely with everything, then you get a tasteless food. Understand? So, what is rightly dividing? As we study to shew thyself approved unto God, that a workman needeth not to be ashamed, but rightly dividing the word of truth. So what is rightly dividing? Now what is not rightly dividing? Rightly dividing is not mixing the truth. Rightly dividing is not slaughtering the truth. Third, rightly dividing is not cherry picking the truth. You know, today, the problem today with the body, with the church today is, we are cherry picking. A lot of people are cherry picking. I like this, so I'll keep it for me. I don't like this, so I don't want that. And when you do cherry picking, then what happens? You don't grow spiritually. You don't grow spiritually. Then you will take somebody's blessing and put it on somebody's burden. And you take somebody's burden and put it on somebody's blessing. And then when you put a burden on somebody's blessing, that blessing will turn into burden. You got to be careful that you don't apply someone's truth into someone's burden. Understand? So what is rightly dividing? Rightly dividing means dividing the truth as God divided and applying the truth appropriately in proper place with a proper role. With a proper role. Don't forget that. Rightly dividing means dividing the truth as God divided and applying the truth appropriately in a proper place with a proper role. Like for example, if we have to take father, mother and children, right? Man, woman and children. Family, father, mother and children. You got to rightly divide. Can you call a man as a woman?
No.
Can you call a woman as a man?
No.
Even though women may like it? Some, not all. Okay? You cannot call a man as a woman. You cannot call a woman as a children. You cannot call a children as a man. They are rightly divided by God. Man is a man, woman is a woman, children is a children. At the same time, they also have a proper role in the church to play. See, when you fail to divide rightly, then what happens? Then woman becomes a bishop, woman becomes a pastor, and that is why today we have confusion in the church, when rightly dividing is not done. So rightly dividing means dividing the truth as God divided and applying the truth appropriately in a proper place with the proper role. Now what we are going to do is, We are going to study each one in a different class. We are going to rightly divide and study what it is. We are going to study about the triunity, the Godhead. The Godhead. That's the word. The word Trinity is not found in the Bible, but the word Godhead is found in the Bible. Okay? So, we will do the study of rightly dividing the Godhead, and then we will study the rightly dividing the Jews, Gentile, and the church. There's a lot of problem today in the churches today, and there's a lot of confusion and false doctrine when you don't rightly divide this. The rightly dividing body, soul, and spirit. Rightly dividing morning, noon, and evening. If you call the morning as evening and call the evening as morning, there will be confusion. When you're supposed to go to sleep, if I tell you get up, man, and go and study, what will happen? It's confusion. Sleep time you sleep, study time you study, right? Night time you take rest, morning time you work. Am I right?
Yes.
Then you have a family, man, woman, and children. Rightly divide that. Rightly divide the innocence, law, and grace age. Rightly dividing today, tomorrow, and yesterday. If you call yesterday as day tomorrow, and if you call tomorrow as today, there will be a confusion, right? If I say Sachin Tendulkar is still playing on his 100, no, he's already finished. He's retired, right?
Yes.
I cannot put the past into present. I got to be careful. Rightly dividing the truth as God divided and applying the truth appropriately in a proper place with a proper role. And then we have New Testament. In the New Testament, of course, we have the Old Testament. We'll study on that. We have New Testament, Gospel, Historical, Epistle. Now, of course, we can divide the epistle into the epistle written, the Pauline epistle, and the general epistle, and personal epistle. We can divide them, but I'm bringing everything into one thing as from Book of Romans to Revelation as an epistle, as we study about that, as we rightly divide those things. Understand? So this is an overview of rightly dividing. You do not take someone's blessing, put on someone's burden, nor you take someone's burden and put it on someone's blessing. You have to take the truth and apply it at the right place for the right groups of people, for the right time, with the right role. That's called rightly dividing. Rightly dividing is not slaughtering. Rightly dividing is not cherry picking. Rightly dividing is not mixing. But rightly dividing is rightly dividing the truth as God divided, and rightly applying those truths to the appropriate place with an appropriate role. Alright?
Yes.
So let's get ready to study each one in a separate class from now on.